vanishing of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. It was supposed to be a routine overnight flight, Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, 239 people on board. But within an hour of takeoff, all contact vanished. No radar trace, no distress call, just silence. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Boeing 777, disappeared into the darkness of the Indian Ocean and became aviation's greatest mystery. What really happened that night? Let's unravel the final hours, the evidence, and why. After more than a decade, the world still has no answers. Flight preparations and departure. The story begins on the evening of March 7, 2014, MYT. At Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, registration 9MMRO, prepared for its routine flight. The Boeing 777-200ER had logged tens of thousands of hours and was deemed airworthy. On board were 227 passengers from 14 nations and 12 crew members, including Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah and First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid. The scheduled departure, 041 MIT on March 8th, destined for Beijing Capital International Airport with arrival planned at 6:30 local time. Weather conditions along the route were unremarkable. The aircraft taxied, engines spooled, and at 041 it soared into the night sky. Everything was normal until it wasn't. Disappearance from radar and loss of contact. At 0107 MIT, the aircraft's ACARS, Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, data link shut off abruptly. Moments later, the transponder stopped broadcasting. By 1:19 MIT, the last verbal communication from the cockpit came, "Good night, Malaysian 370. The plane vanished from civilian radar screens while over the Gulf of Thailand. Military radar continued to track portions of its flight path. It crossed the Malay Peninsula, turned west across the Straits of Malacca, and apparently proceeded into the Indian Ocean. But no wreckage, no bodies, no closure, just silence. In Kuala Lumpur, the alarms were raised. Controllers realized 17 minutes had elapsed since the last expected communication. Air traffic agencies moved from routine tracking to full alert. The international search was soon underway. The mystery deepens. Satellite pings and alternate corridors. While the aircraft's main systems vanished, the Inmarsat satellite network detected hourly handshake pings from the plane's SATCOM antenna. Analysis by British, UK AAIIB, and Malaysian authorities showed these signals placed the jet somewhere along a Great Circle arc, the so-called Seventh Arc, stretching into the southern Indian Ocean. Converging lines of investigation pointed to two possible corridors: the North Corridor through Central Asia and the Southern Corridor over the Indian Ocean. With radar and satellite data, investigators concluded the southern track was overwhelmingly more likely. By March 24, 2014, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak announced the plane's final resting place was likely 1,500 miles southwest of Australia, and that all on board were presumed lost. But still, no crash site, no playback of final moments, no final data. The disappearance had shifted from accident investigation into mystery, massive search efforts and unseen depths. The scale was unprecedented. Australia's AMSA, Australian Maritime Safety Authority, Malaysia's MHBSA teams, the Royal Australian Air Force, and many other nations mobilized vessels, aircraft, and satellites across hundreds of thousands of square kilometers. Search zones moved westwards from the likely path, narrowing but still vast. The seabed in the southern Indian Ocean, where depths exceed 4,000 meters and currents are violent, proved hostile. Robotic submersibles, sonar systems, and drifting buoy models failed to find the main wreckage despite continuous efforts for years. In 2017, the official search was suspended. Private company Ocean Infinity conducted a search in 2018 under no find, no fee terms, but found nothing. In 2025, the Malaysian government approved another segment of search, 15,000 kilometers, in a renewed effort to bring closure. The unresolved nature of the disappearance transformed this from missing aircraft into lost forever, a haunting question that still echoes. Debris found, small clues, big questions. The first confirmed debris arrived on July 29, 2015. A flaperon from MH370 washed up on the French island of Réunion, 3,700 kilometers from the main search zone. By 2016, additional fragments appeared along the coast of East Africa, Madagascar, and Mauritius. Though these finds gave hope, they did little to resolve key questions. Where did the plane enter the water? At what angle? Was the descent controlled or uncontrolled? Did someone, pilot or hijacker, direct the aircraft? Or did it suffer a catastrophic event? Debris indicated structural failure, breaks in the fuselage, interior parts, and damaged surfaces. Yet the main wreckage and flight recorders remain unseen. leaving huge gaps in the story. Theories that multiply, from mechanical to malicious. Over the years, hundreds of theories sprouted. Mechanical malfunction? Unlikely. The Boeing 777 had an excellent safety record. Hijacking or criminal plot? Possible. Transponder and ACARs were turned off. Pilot suicide? Considered. Fire? Explosive decompression? Drone strike? Every possibility took flight. The official report, July 2018, left the cause undetermined, but stated manual inputs were probably involved. The NTSB noted, no evidence of mechanical failure prior to loss of contact, so deliberate action was likely. Yet no definitive scenario emerged. Each theory compelling, none conclusive. The mix of evidence and absence became the central enigma. The plane's path, its end, its reason, all unanswered. Human families in limbo. Behind the technical data are 239 lives. Engineers, business people, families, and children. Their loved ones vanished into the night sky, and for years the emotional weight has been heavy. Families gathered at Kuala Lumpur Airport, at memorials around the world, holding on to hope and torment. The absence of closure is part of their pain. One relative said, "Memories come back like yesterday. It's fresh in our heads." This story reminds us, each incident is names and faces. The mystery around MH370 is not just about a plane, it's about people without a grave, without a record, without end. Impact on aviation. Lessons and reforms. The disappearance forced aviation authorities worldwide to rethink tracking and oversight. Questions raised. Should every commercial aircraft be retrievable in real time? Why could a big jet fly for hours with no contact? The ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, now recommends aircraft position be sent every 15 minutes if ADS-B or transponder fails. Satellite tracking systems were improved. New protocols for underwater locator beacons, real-time monitoring and debris drift modeling were developed. MH370 stands as a pivot point. Safety rules, search readiness, and crisis management changed, even if its lessons arrived late. Search technology and the ocean's challenge. Finding one airplane in a 1.6 million kilometer ocean floor is literally looking for a needle in a haystack. The Indian Ocean is deep, dark, and remote. Pressure, cold, and currents challenge even the best technology. The search involved AUVs, autonomous underwater vehicles, sonar sweeps, magnetic anomaly detection, and drift modeling of debris fields. Ocean Infinity's latest mission, 2025, uses improved sonar arrays and autonomous fleets. Yet they still depend on luck and ocean current patterns that have already scattered debris far and wide. The search is as much oceanography as aviation investigation. This interplay between technology and nature highlights the limits of human control. Even with billions invested, the ocean resists answer. What we still don't know and why it matters. Despite everything, central questions remain unanswered. What was the precise final flight path? Why was the transponder turned off? Did the crew have time to respond? Were there suicidal inputs or sabotage? Did the aircraft break up in flight or upon impact? Without the flight data recorders, investigators rely on satellite handshakes, radar traces, and ocean current modeling. Their conclusions are probabilistic, not definitive. The wreckage still undiscovered means many assumptions remain just that, assumptions. Why this matters? Because closure is not just for families, but for aviation safety. Every unknown leaves a vulnerability unaddressed. MH370's disappearance is a reminder that even in a tightly regulated industry, one flight can slip through the cracks. And perhaps most haunting, when we lose something in the vastness of the Indian Ocean, we lose part of our belief that we leave no trace. A flight vanished, and a decade later, the world is still searching. Flight MH370 became more than a missing plane. It became a symbol of how fragile certainty can be. Each discovery, each renewed search keeps the hope alive that one day the ocean will give back its secret. Until next time, may every journey find its way home. And if you found this story compelling, hit like, subscribe to Skyvision Aviation, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into aviation's unsolved mysteries and incredible recoveries. Safe travels, and may every flight you take carry clearer signals than this airplane left behind.